Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do a stop. I'm just going to do a focus if you want to move dash.
Yep. Dash, 1 bank and focus.
Okay.
Close in the 1 bank. Until focus as well.
Okay.
End of the round, ready.
$99 points, yeah, Chris?
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
Cheers. See you later, Rob.
And you were 100?
98.
Well, I'm wrong then. Dash Rendar, Lone Wolf, Heavy Laser Cannon, Ray, Outrider, Smuggling Compartment, Countermeasures?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Poe Dameron 9, PS9, Veteran Instincts. I put extra munitions on, so I should be reasonable.
Useful.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Okay, guys, good luck.
Let's do a focus. Okay.
Dash to the 1 bank.
Yep.
That time is not correct.
And he will focus.
Let's say they started 2 minutes ago. I'm going to put the time on according to them, and we'll see if anybody says anything.
Do a focus.
Stop.
Oh.
Yep.
So, when it stops.
I'm going to check time in the other room if you like.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll put it. I don't think it's going to be that much good.
How'd you do yesterday?
Um,
Now that we're like kind of settled now, we can actually talk about it and like, having the viewers.
I was 5-1 by the end of the day, which was,
Oh shit, nice.
and then just went out in the top. Well, won the first top cut, but then went out in the top 32. So
main room, so they've only really lost 5 minutes.
I was
It's not a
surprised
big deal.
everyone else was that I was doing that well. So Ray then.
Start.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you got a bonus round this weekend. Didn't think this was going to happen. We thought we were going to have the top run simultaneous with the main event, with the Hyperspace event, and that there'd be 6 rounds of both, and that nothing, you wouldn't get to see this matchup, but we did. We managed to get it all in. Ryan Matheson and Christopher Z playing. Excuse me, I got a bit of wind. Are playing as undefeated in the
How'd you do yesterday?
in the.
2, 3 and then drop, so. Yeah,
I'm just listening. Hang on a sec.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
They're undefeated in the Hyperspace, so they're playing now. Whoever wins this match will receive an invitation to the Coruscant Open, Coruscant Invitational in October. And neither of these two were playing with buys from the top cut. Whereas in most of the other matchups that are undefeated, there are several people that got eliminated from the top prior to top 8. I've been joined by Nicholas Harris.
How you doing?
That's who you are, isn't it?
Yeah, it is me.
So that sometimes with the pictures on Facebook I get confused.
Yeah, so I'm based out of Basingstoke.
Wicked. You're from Firestorm Cards.
Firestorm Cards in Basingstoke,
He'll
indeed.
focus when he gets there.
It's the Firestorm Cards in Cardiff as well.
Firestorm Games.
Same between those
Oh,
two
it's different, is it?
Yeah, different.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, different. So, yeah, a bit of a good day yesterday, not so good day today.
So what were you playing yesterday?
Nimranda.
And did you make it through to top, didn't you?
Yeah, I went through the cut this morning.
Uh-huh.
Managed to beat a ghost yesterday, lost to a ghost yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and then lost a ghost this morning.
Which
Narrowly.
ghost?
So Ghost Fen with Maul Ezra.
And who was playing that?
It was Scott. Can't remember the surname. It started with an M. Really good game.
Kirkham?
I actually beat him in
Kirkham?
Cardiff a few.
Scott Kirkham.
measure for the target lock
Mhm.
was it it?
Yeah, I actually played him in
Yeah,
Cardiff a couple of months ago at the regional. Beat him then.
Yeah.
And then he beat me today. The big important one.
With the same lifts?
Boost one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, same list.
Mhm.
Oh, no, I lie.
Well, no, because you'd have
I
been playing.
customized.
You'd have been
Which
playing
division?
Trajectory Simulator
What
Genius.
title?
I was using
Yeah.
the same as what Ashok used. Yeah, yeah. And then I saw Paul's game at Warboard. I saw that on stream.
Paul Owen.
Oh,
Yep.
that looks pretty good to me.
Paul
Yeah.
Ray.
Changed it a bit.
Yep. Was there a bit clear
I
shot?
kept the VI though, because I quite like VI on him. In fact, I can't run it any other way at the minute, but we'll see.
Possibility for hit crit. Evasive.
We're going to have to wait, okay, because Christopher deployed his Lambda at the far edge of the table, but this is the Turbo Man
One
Lambda.
shot into dash.
Right.
We're going to have to wait for it to get a bit closer to the camera and turn side on to be able to appreciate it. But yeah, it's one that showed up lots of times on Facebook groups.
I'll spend one of mine and I'll take 2 shields.
So he's got 2 shields on.
Dash will shoot back at range 4. 3, sorry, with 4
Range 4, yeah, that's a new one.
Oh, words are difficult. 1 hit.
Okay. I'll pop in the mid.
Yep, you're fine. Strangely.
Just to make sure.
And everything's
Yep.
done there. So it's probably a bit silly of me offering to do this stream, as it means it's going to take me ages to pack everything up. Like I should have taken advantage of the fact that I'd be able to pack everything up early. But who knows? Maybe they're going to have a quick game. Maybe they'll be over in half an hour.
Don't think so. not
Well,
with
Poe and
not the
Dash.
Inquisitor on
Yeah.
there. Just
Yeah.
going to tank everything more than likely.
Yeah.
That's not what he tends to do. But it's a bit different because it's VI Dash, isn't it? Is that right?
It is a Veteran Instincts dash.
Yeah.
No, Lone Wolf dash.
That is Lone Wolf Dash.
Veteran
Yeah,
Instincts
so-
on Poe Dameron to make him Pilot Skill 11.
Okay.
He's got Push the Limit on both Inquisitor and Riot. Riot, that's a curious one. You don't typically see Push the Limit on Riot.
I'm right, yeah, because he's got all the straights are green.
Yeah, but typically that's like you're mortgaging your possibilities. He's taken the twin iron engines. He's got more greens.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, he's
Pushing yourself only onto the greens is. I mean, obviously she's got a lot of greens with that twin iron engine Mark II.
Yep.
Good luck, guys.
That's what she's found. She's got all that extra economy. She can get
Mhm.
gets the evade from the title anyway. Can still
Yeah.
push, have the target lock, have the focus. She's a tough ship to deal with, and has all the options of going. If she does do the 5, she can still turn that into a green. Spin around when she wants to.
Are you leaving, mate? No. Alright, I'll stay. Fade.
But she's been really, really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Do a focus.
Just starting to catch a glimpse of the fin on the.
Sorry, I've got PTL.
the Lambda.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how well we'll see it, but if it gets close enough, it is pretty cool to see. It's got the from that. What was the name of that film? Jingle All the Way with Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the little boy wanted a Turbo Man doll.
Yeah, so he tries to get it.
Yeah, and it's like completely sold out, and he ends up dressing as Turbo Man in the Christmas parade.
Okay. Sorry.
You people are crazy. It's just a toy. Timo's here. We wanna say hello to everybody from Germany watching, if there is anyone still watching, because obviously we had like 505 viewers for the final, and now it's just gone boom. You know, Hyperspace people like that.
I don't know. I watched every minute of Jesper's game.
It was a
on
cool
stream,
game.
It was amazing.
It was a cool game.
As far forward
Yep,
or
far forward.
As I said before, everybody.
There, that'll do.
Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Please, if you're watching this, please do consider joining the Patreon. It's $1 a month isn't really that big a deal for anybody, I don't think. And I'm getting to a point now where it gives me a lot of opportunities to make a lot of major tournaments. You know, I mean, like really traveling all over Europe is relatively easy, but it comes with its cost, and I'm being being part-time employed at the moment, I've not got that much to do for myself, and it's basically the last since I made the Patreon in September. In August, I launched it just after the French National. It's you. Since then is when things have really developed a lot more. Like, for example, the stream software that we're using now with the overlay, and for example that MOV bar, which is a new feature for this weekend. It basically comes from the fact that the donations I receive through Patreon drive me to make these new features, to push the boundaries a little bit more of the sort of stuff that happens on stream. And this is one of the only streams where you hear the players perfectly. There's very little need to commentate because you can hear everything they're saying. So in this case, for example, I don't need to tell you there's 2 hits because Ryan just called it out perfectly.
Which I know is one of the biggest struggles, is trying to see dice.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and I don't like that dice cam thing that the other guys do.
I really don't like when they overlay it over the centre of the board.
It's kind of like, I remember the first time, because I don't know if they actually asked the dude or not, but the first guy to do it was, I think he was from Carolina, and and it was like, when I saw it, it's like this, like nearly a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years ago, he did a regional, and he did it, and it was like, oh, that's a really clever idea what you did there, because obviously I'd spent a long time kind of thinking about how to do a dice cam, and I come up with all these ideas, and in the end I just basically said, it's just not worth it. I don't want to be asking players to constantly throw their dice in there. I want them to feel comfortable. And
you've always said you wanted the stream as inobtrusive as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And
really shows.
He's got 2 left. And he did it. This guy did it a year and a half ago, and it was like a really clever idea. He's basically just got like a shoebox, painted it blue, and put the webcam over it, and chroma keyed out the blue, and it works really well. And then suddenly the other guys started doing it, and I'm not quite sure if they'd actually said to the guy, "Hey, that's a good idea. Do you mind if we use it?" or they anything to it. But it's kind of it's an innovative idea, but for me, it's not quite perfect. It's like obviously you're trying to upscale this HD webcam to fill the screen as much as possible. You're doing chroma key on it, and so you're getting a lot of frame loss on it. It's getting quite jerky. To a certain extent, it's not that important. Then people show up with their shiny dice that causes a reflection and still makes the dice semi-transparent and stuff like that. And at the end, it comes down to the fact that I remember the first time this guy did it, like a year and a half ago. At first it was like, you just see this die appear on the screen, boom, and it was like, whoa. And the next thing you see is this giant hand, and you almost fall off your chair. You're like, Jesus, where'd that come from?
The funniest thing is when somebody's got like a plaster or something in their hand, their finger just disappears. It's great.
And yeah, so I mean, it's an innovative approach, but like I say, it's just not. I spend a lot of time thinking about the stream, and especially at the beginning. And like the things that I wanted to do, like for example the damage deck thing, that took a lot of time thinking about it before I finalised the idea and started doing it effectively.
I bet you don't even use the key anymore.
This thing.
Yeah.
This weekend, because it's an English tournament, I've been quite lucky that nearly every single damage card has been called out pretty clearly, and the ones that haven't been have been the ones that I've got memorised, like direct hit, damaged engine, damage sensor array, stuff like that. I've not got it all memorised. Like for example, I can never remember this one. Right? Yeah, I don't remember what that one is, because it's the same symbol as damage sensor array but reversed, and so I don't remember it. And I get confused between shake and pilot. Console fire is easy, blinded pilot is easy, damage cockpit is easy, damage engine is easy because it's basically like a turn maneuver. And yeah, but then I've got about half of them memorised. But yeah, it is critical. And and it took a while because it was like I knew I wanted to do something, and I was thinking for ages. And it was just after I had someone tell me that because before with my damage deck when I played, I didn't have sleeves on it. And someone said to me, "You should put sleeves on it. It's really a lot easier to shuffle." When I went to a regional, and I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a go." I bought some sleeves and started doing it. It's like, wow, it is a lot easier to shuffle. And I looked around, everybody else has got sleeves on their damage decks. So I was like, okay, so if I'm going to give people damage decks, it's got to have sleeves on it, so that it's the same as the one they're using. So then it was like, okay, so I want to do these symbols on it. And at first I thought about colours, and I thought colours on the camera would be too difficult to distinguish. You know, if you had like slightly different colour of blue, because you've got to get 14 different symbols.
Yeah.
And so trying to get 14 different colours with enough contrast to be able to tell the difference between them was going to be difficult. And so the next thing was to look to do symbols or shapes. And I thought about doing shapes, and I thought about doing letters at first. And then I realised that letters weren't bold enough. Like, for example, you can't really see what numbers are written on most of the range rulers and templates. You can't be 100% sure the number that appears on them. So if I started putting letters on there, they'd have to be really bold ones. And I was like, no, that won't work. And then eventually, then I went for shapes, and I was like, well, I can't get enough shapes that are distinct enough. You know, you've got square, triangle, circle, and then where do you go from where the hexagon, but that pretty much looks like a circle on the camera, and stuff like that. So the last one was, the breakthrough came when I was I was going into my in-laws' house, and they live on the 9th floor of an apartment block, and I was going up the lift, and I saw the little braille numbers on the buttons, and I was like, wow, because that's basically exactly what I'm looking for. It's for people that are visually challenged, and it's simplified. It's a little six-digit sequence, a six-point binary sequence. I just kind of adapt that into like solid black graphic, and I've got it done. And so then it was like I was wondering about putting it on, actually gluing it onto the card, sticking it on the card.
And then you can feel it through the...
Well, I mean...
As a flat image or as a...
It's a sticker.
Yeah.
It's a transparent sticker. But it comes on like a matte plastic. And I was like, if I put it on the card itself, it'll be alright. But the sleeve will go over it, and then if light reflects off the sleeve, I won't see it. So because with it being matte, sticking it straight onto the sleeve means it's always visible.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get peeled off when people shuffle them, corners come up, and I have to change them. But but it ended up working out perfectly fine. And then the last thing was to stand around and say, well, if I've got to give these guys the damage decks.
Great move from Riot there. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got to put a way of distinguishing between the two damage decks so they don't get mixed up.
Mm.
I wonder if I can do... No, I don't want to touch it. Sometimes you think, let's try an experiment on stream, and it always messes everything up.
Poe is not in a happy place. He does not want to be there.
Not at all.
Boost.
Trying to get range on the shield for a shot that he has.
Yeah, it's target lock.
Can we just check it to see if it's range one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And remove the target lock.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. The combat phase.
Okay.
So 4 dice with pull into the shuttle.
Yep.
So Poe Dameron gets a hit, a crit. Hit, crit. 1 evade. Takes off the shields from the Lambda.
Inquisitor, does he have a shot?
Have you found your ruler?
Yeah, it was on my box the whole time.
Oof.
Just in.
With that?
Yeah.
So range 1.
Yeah, I know it's range 1 because he's Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
He is probably one of the ships.
2 blanks. And re-rolls. Gets a hit. 2 hits. Looks like an evade and a focus. Spends the focus. No damage.
Dash.
No, Inquisitor is probably one of the most feared, aside from Quick Draw, he's probably the most feared Imperial ship that I face, despite the fact that I have a load of bombs.
True.
2 hits.
Yeah, because he doesn't die to TLTs, ever.
Alright, TLTs of course, yeah.
Riyadh.
It's a beautiful ship as well, I love him.
Yeah, well, my problem with it is that he basically pushed Darth Vader out of the meta.
It's hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah.
With Inquisitor, there's no reason to take Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Inquisitor gets the auto thrusters,
Yep.
gets the 3 dice that Darth Vader basically has to use his target lock as a collateral.
Yeah.
He can't use it.
Hit crit on dash.
Hit and crit on dash.
it's the action. It just like
Direct hit.
Direct hit. Because I told them to get on with the game, I told them not to use my damage decks in this game.
Oh, okay.
So I said, when
So
you
you're
do get a
listening.
crit, just shout it out.
Cool.
Make sure you say it out clearly, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, the Inquisitor damage. The Inquisitor action economy is pretty much as good as Vader because of the plus limit and the greens on his die are stupid good.
And that title that gives him a free evade.
Yeah. So at the very least, he'll have a target lock pretty much every turn to attack.
Yeah.
This is something that I think this is something I've only ever seen you do as well, which is to show.
Yeah, that's true. To begin with, because at first I used to talk to the other streamers, and then I don't know, things just kind of changed with everybody, and people stopped talking to each other. It was when the first time when I started doing it, the other dude was like, "How do you manage to get so many cameras?" Because like this camera, and the player camera, and the webcam is like you just plug them in, and then you just add them into the source, and it was like, what? Like, okay. I guess I won't give away all my secrets, but yeah, for me it's very important to see the players.
I agree.
It does. It's a big deal for me that and
not just
the human element, and it's just like right now nothing's happening on the tabletop, and everyone always goes on about you need to stop showing the players. It's like no, because what are you gonna do? Stand there and look at a bunch of plastic ships not moving for 5 minutes while they're planning, you know? And it's literally when it's in planning phase, the game isn't on the table. The game is the players, and I've seen just to highlight how crazy it is. There's absolutely nothing. No one's saying anything in chat here. This is still from when the guy won the final.
Martin.
They just all dodged off. Just said bugger this.
So true. That's awesome.
And they I've seen players. Okay, for example, a dude playing against like a tall player.
Yeah.
Slouch down in his chair like that. And look up at the eyes of his opponent while he's setting his dials.
So I think I just
watched him.
Just see which way his eyes are moving, when they're moving
Wow.
left or right. Yeah? And then I say that to people, and then suddenly they say, oh, well then, I always move my eyes a couple of extra times afterwards. You don't do that for a whole game. You don't.
And even if you did, it's going to look different.
Yeah. And you do, you do a,
So you were
you do see a lot of the psychological game that takes place as well. Like for example, when Nantorf's, when he had his world final, and he's just, when you look at the video, and he's just kind of like sitting there like this, because he knows he's got the game won, and it's just Kevin Lyons like just there kind of like stressing the whole time about what he's going to do to take care of this list. And it's just you do see a lot of what happens in it, and this stuff does affect the game, you know. It's like there's loads of studies go into it as far as games and sports are concerned. It's like how much does the psychological element come into play, and it's a big deal.
That's definitely, I know when you're kind of on that cusp of kind of taking the game over and trying to get ahead, you feel the adrenaline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Panicking and worrying and just
and one of the things I'll go into as well with respect to that player camera is that before, when I first started streaming, just before that, and obviously being from Spain, the Spanish community had a lot of problems. There was a lot of division. And then I started streaming, and I had this second camera where you could see the players. And it became, since then, now the Spanish community is like really come together. They're like really supportive. Everyone, like we had after our national, a whole bunch of people went to this Italian restaurant. Like not having anything to do with each other normally, but we all went. Let's all just go together. Everyone showed up, and it's something that like I personally take because beforehand there was a lot of animosity towards the Madrid community for being so active that they would travel to all the tournaments, all the regionals, and try and win all the prizes. And so a lot of people kind of had a bad opinion of the Madrid players, and even came into a situation in the regional where things went a bit against the wall. Since then, things have come together, and I personally take a lot of pride in that I had a lot to do with that, because I introduced the human element to these players. They were no longer a name on a list that was at the top of the list. You know, I seen this guy has won like 3 regionals, but I don't know anything about him. I've never seen his face. you know. And so I kind of introduced the human element to the game of like now you get to know who these people are.
I also love about the X-Wing community here. I've been part of a few other game systems in the time, but I've made more friends in the last 2 years of playing X-Wing than I ever made playing any other system. It's ridiculous.
I worry about the size of this event. I feel like it may have been too big.
It's a long 2 days.
It's not not that. I mean the number of people here, because I feel maybe the community lost a little bit out of it, because for example, Bob D was here. I've not seen him all weekend.
Yeah,
I've had and also the Scottish guys that I stayed with during the UK Nationals. I know they're here, but I've never seen them the whole weekend. Right, and obviously the people that I've got a good relationship with, good friends with, and I'd love to say hello to them, but I've just not seen them. And if I go out there and try and look for them with 500 people in the hall, I'm not going to find them.
I've done pretty well, to be fair. I think I've seen everybody that I've played in the last year. But a lot of them are part of groups who I'd know somebody
very
else
active,
as well.
yeah.
So, like,
I mean, obviously bear in mind that I've been trapped in this room all weekend. This is the top room. There's only 20% of the players are in here.
Yeah.
So the top 52 tables were in here on Saturday, and then the top cut was in here on Sunday. So not many people from the rest of the tournament come in. Spent countermeasures, and so I do take that into account. But you know, I've gone through that hall plenty of times, and like I say, there's a whole bunch of people that were here that I've just not seen. Oh, that's right.
my focus.
So looks like 3 and a crit from Poe on the Inquisitor.
Yep.
Palpatine says he's going to evade.
So
Rolls 1 evade and 2 focuses.
So 1 shield.
Yep.
1 shield goes.
Okay. Inquisitor into dash.
Yep.
Range 1.
Inquisitor fires on dash at range 1. So he's got to take 2 damage onto him. He's got 2 hits. Dash has got a blank out. Gets a focus. Re-rolls for Lone Wolf. Gets a blank. Dash is 1 point from death.
So how much hull have you got left? Sorry, 2.
2 hull. Yeah.
it says
Dash.
2.
It's going to shoot at.
Oh, did he not take any damage on that?
Did you have Lone Wolf actually? Yeah.
Okay.
It's about there.
2 big ship with it.
Inquisitor, yeah?
Yeah. 3 hits.
First is.
Oh.
Riyadh's gonna shoot.
Yep.
Range 2.
One of the things that makes me laugh is when streamers, in X-Wing specifically, hit a crit.
Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf to repeat.
2.
Nice.
Gets 2, so Dash lives another day. One of the
Dash doing
things,
Dash things.
yeah, one of the things that makes me laugh about streams, especially more next than anything else, is that when the commentators put themselves in a little window. That's the last thing. Like when you're watching football, that's what you want to see. Is you want to see John Matheson in the booth just sitting there with a microphone.
So I quite enjoyed it. I saw I was actually when I was at Exeter Curtain Games.
Yeah.
They do that. It's quite a small screen, but it was quite cool to see them enjoy themselves and feeling part of the game as well.
I don't
It was quite
know.
an interesting thing, I thought. So I enjoyed it.
I mean, obviously, I spent ages last night talking to the Dutch guys about it, and they were asking me loads of questions. It's just like I've got there's lots of things that I'm trying to make sure I do. Now I get a lot of stick for commentary. Now I'll always say I'm not going to be a Paul Heaver that is able to use my intuition to tell you exactly what's going to happen, and I'm not really sure that everybody wants to watch someone second guess the game either. There's no surprise element to anything. But you know, it's like if Paul Heaver says someone's going to do something, they do it. It's like, of course. But as far as the visual element, I try to make it at the maximum it can be. And so for things like, for me, this camera angle from the table is the perfect angle, and it's always something that I've always trying to. No, but okay, so hang on a second. I'm not explaining myself properly. I always do that type of angle, okay, where the camera's like looking angle, down oblique. But this weekend, I got the perfect mix of it, the right kind of angle and height and everything. That I got to the point where at the bottom of the screen, the playmat reaches both corners.
Right.
Yeah. And so that means that basically, if you put out this, if I was to put out a screenshot from the main camera into Photoshop and then map out how many pixels, what percentage of the screen was taken up by the play area, this is like the maximum I can get. So I've just got those two narrow wedges at the edge where the player cards are. I can't get any more of the image on screen, you know, and obviously that makes a difference for making things closer to the camera, making them easy to see, the dice and other little elements of the game. As the closer, the more screen space it takes up, it means it's closer, and it means that you're more likely to perceive those small details. Like right now, Turbo Man is just coming into shot.
Just want to spin him on that magnet so we can see the beat.
Yeah. and like sometimes it all depends. You got to get the distance just right from the table, you know, and it's difficult.
Well, I'm going to have to make a move. I've got a 2-hour drive back to Basingstoke.
All right, okay.
So I'm going to shoot on because my friend has finished his game.
Oh, right, you got a quick one, huh?
Yeah, he was playing in Hyperspace, so he was 4-1.
Yeah.
I want to find out how he did. So.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Try it.
Okay.
He might have done the 5-1, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, man.
Thank you. I will see you at the next big event.
Yeah, hopefully.
I will be at Euros. I don't know if you're here for that.
It's going to be difficult, I can't confirm right now.
That's cool.
But it's going to be an uphill struggle, I can tell you that much.
Okie doke.
It's my son's birthday is the same weekend. Yeah, and obviously it was my son's birthday the same weekend last year as well.
Yeah.
So I skipped it 1 year.
Can't skip it every year.
No, because obviously the first question is whenever I say I'm going to go to one of these things, is like, are they paying you to do this? Like, no. Right. Well, then why are you going? And why are you missing your son's birthday? And and it's like, obviously there's like certain points where it is important, and like the European stream last year was like hugely important.
Yes. It was awesome.
And I'd like to try and get a bit of inside information to try and work out what they're going to do next year onwards, try and help me make my decision.
Yeah.
Because I do get the impression that regardless of next year, the Europeans not being at the UK Games Expo, I reckon, I'm pretty sure there will be a large-scale X-Wing tournament at the UK Open. What that tournament will be, I don't know. Maybe it'll be an Open again, maybe it'll be something else. But I think that they're not going to turn their back on the UK Games Expo.
No,
they're not going to make it so that like their biggest game doesn't have a presence here.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So you have one of our old art cards. I heard you say you the Firestorm one, the Rex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I found it earlier. Yeah.
And you said you pass them on and get them around the world.
Yeah, well, get them around the world. Mostly goes to Spain. Like if I go to Italy and Germany, yeah, they'll get passed around over there.
Cool. If it does go to somebody, let us know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, typically I take now I know whose it is. I take a photo and I pass it on, like I did with George when he signed a Lebo for me. I gave it to what's his name? He's got like a lady's name in Spain. He's come from Albacete. Yeah. Anyway, so I sent George a photo saying this gentleman, his name is such and such. He's from Albacete in Spain. And he's got your card, so it's going.
You stick it up in the UK X-Wing group. I'll find it.
Ah, yeah, of course, wicked. Right. Okay, cheers, see you later, man. Bye.
So 2 hits, 2 crits.
Hit. Structural damage and direct hit.
Oh,
so 1,
dead.
2, 3, 4, 5. He is dead.
Okay, so direct hit gets the kill.
Turbo Man dies. We didn't even get a good look at him. That's a shame. Oh, that he's put him there.
Inquisitor. Which one into dash? Spin the focus.
Yep. Lone Wolf. 2, take a crit. Major hull breach. All damage cards are now face up. Fat lot of good that'll do when he's on 1 hull.
But Dash did not die, so he's still there.
4 dice into the Inquisitor. Lone Wolf, that one changes to hit. 2 hits. You're fine.
Ryan's mood getting more upbeat. as he realises this is turning in his favour. He had a good round there, having dash survive.
No. Yes. Good.
Okay. Red. So we're going to do evade. Do focus, and then I'll push the barrel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dash. Do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Copy that.
Yep.
I know I nudged it a little bit, but like it's
Yeah,
it's
no,
more
you
than
have
fair.
more than enough room, mate.
Okay.
The way I can understand you speed up long again.
So clear the stress and yeah, I'll just tight lock, require tight lock and focus. Yep.
So I'm going to do something I shouldn't really do, but I'm guessing this game's going to go on quite a little bit longer. So I will be talking directly to the chat from the commentary. So if you've got any questions or anything you want to say,
Okay.
let me know through there.
So nothing for dash.
Yeah, so put to shoot.
Shoot, I'm assuming range one.
Range one, yeah.
Yep. Target lock, those two. Hit crit crit.
Yeah, it's a blanks and a focus.
Focus and evade for one.
Yep.
One shield token.
Okay. Inquisitive to shoot. Yep. Range one. Target lock.
Yep.
Three.
Three. So dash dies.
Dash goes down. Pilot skill 7. Now it's just Poe against Ryad and Inquisitor. To begin with, my money would be on the Imperials now. Poe is on full health. And he does have advanced optics and black 1. And he is the highest pilot skill on the table. So he will be moving last. He can shake any target locks they put onto him.
Ready?
When you are.
So I'm going to do a kid. So. Stress. Is evade, and I'll try and push for a target lock.
Out range.
Nope. So I'll just leave it there.
Quiz.
Just the two. Kill the stress. Boost ball. And then I'm going to take a target lock into Poe.
Cool. Which gives you an evade.
Okay.
Gonna boost. Shake that target lock.
Which strips your target lock?
I get stress. Yeah. Okay.
So pull.
Yep.
Range one. Four.
Oh wow. 4 hits. One evades, spends one, takes 2, Inquisitor down.
How much time's left on the round? About 30 minutes.
I don't think Rio does his shot.
No. She does? No.
No. Ready?
Yep.
This room is empty because there is no longer an event in this room. Main event was, we had the top cut in here this morning, and all the rest of the hyperspace is in the other hall. Now, obviously, they're trying to get everything packed away, and so they don't want people in here. So there's no spectators left. Everybody's over watching games in the other room. There's something more exciting going. Well, I shouldn't say more exciting. But there's people. There's other names. I went through the list of players, and I went for these two because I hadn't seen them. I wanted to get unknown. I wanted to get people that had never been seen before. Specifically, so I looked at the list. There was George Delapina there. There was Kevin Bellamy there. There was Lee Taylor there. There were loads of good names up there. There were 14 players, so 7 buys. Ooh.
I'm fine. Possibility.
Yeah. 7. There were 15 players that were undefeated, so 7 matchups will be will win a buy, and it depends on the 8th, which got paired down, whether or not he's going to get whether or not he wins against the person who got paired down. Well, I can imagine Poe taking a too hard turn here and getting range 1.
So I will push to do this.
No. It'd have to be a 1 hard turn. He's not going to get banked. He took the bank right in front of Rides. He's going to boost. Try and get back out. Try and get away. Maybe try and get range. Boost left. Try and get range.
Right.
Boost.
Straight.
Okay.
Range 2.
Yep. 2 hits.
2.
Yep.
The YouTube channel is all these games will go up on YouTube within a couple of days. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/first-earth. The C is in there because it's a channel name. It says you got to put /C in, and then put /first-earth, and it'll show up. I think in most cases, if you search First Earth, it may come up, but in some cases it doesn't come up first. I do believe though, if you search System Open Series in YouTube, one of my faces comes up actually straight away.
Jonathan, up forward. Straight.
And let me just for the people complaining that they're playing to an empty room here, let's just remember that this game wasn't intended to be streamed. We finished the main event a lot earlier. It just so happened they were literally about to start the final round of the Hyperspace, and I said, well, let's get them on there.
3. don't know what those words were, but
Poe's going to turn and roll. Left.
So I get
Escape
the
arc.
And then I'm going to push with the focus. Okay.
I know. Oh, I guess he didn't want to be stressed. But he's gonna. This isn't gonna solve this game for Poe. He's gonna.
are you free through the rock?
Yeah. Stand focus.
Blank. 1 for auto thrusters.
So I take 2.
No, it's not auto thrusters. Takes 2 damage on Poe. Yeah, for some reason I'd already taken 1 off. I guess he regened it with R2D2 at some point. I wasn't paying attention to.
Ready?
Yep.
Can you do a bank 3 for us, please?
Yeah.
It's just a.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time this weekend we're seeing cardboard templates on the table. And I have been asked by Cockatoo to hand out Cockatoo cards to players who I see with cardboard.
I'll try for a barrel while it's going to work anyway, so. No. So, focus evade, and I'll. Yeah, push for a tight rock as well.
Free straight, I regenerate a shield. I'll do that now so I don't forget it. And I'll boost so that I strip your target.
Okay, am I in range there? Yeah.
Yep.
That's free.
This isn't working for Poe. I understand he doesn't want to stress himself, but come on. He's just going to chip your shields away. You can only roll evades so much.
Yeah, ready?
2 seconds. Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you do a bank 3 for us, please? Play distress.
I'm assuming it's going to come straight back on though.
Yeah. Do you want to do it for you?
Yep. Boost and get rid of your target lock.
Okay.
And I regen a shield with R2.
I can't do this alone.
Out.
Yep. Yeah, ready?
Yep.
You do 3 bank for us, please, mate.
Comes off.
Try and do a barrel this way.
You might have room. Nah, you won't get the base
No.
down.
Okay, so. And I may as well push for there. Yeah, I'll leave it for this in this case. Okay.
Free straight green, regenerate the shield.
Hey guys.
The bank the boost.
This is going to take a while.
None. Yep.
Push for 10.
4 straight. Boost. Let's go to your target lock. It's your target lock.
Jeez.
What about if you did a 4K turn here?
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So get the evade. And I'll push to focus. Okay. 3 back?
Yeah. Tools. I will boost straight, which makes more sense there.
Shooting. Range 3.
Yep.
1.
I'm fine.
Ready?
Yep.
And then push to focus.
Can you?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I heart rate.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So 4 dice into me at range 1. Two. That's not 2. 1, so I'll take your shield.
Alright, no change.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, turn.
3.
So I get the evade.
Yeah.
And then I'll push for a focus.
3 straight green, I'll regen a shield.
Look, I'm getting some lag on the stream camera. Oh, dude, Poe, are we gonna play for time? Oh, I see.
Yep.
Range 3.
Half an hour. Yeah, that's how long we got. I told him it's half an hour.
Focus 2.
3.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Is that my stress? Or is that yours?
Yes, that's yours, but it comes off. Wait, that's one of yours, because I only have 5.
Okay.
I'm assuming you've got 5 too.
Focus of it and push for attack.
Boost. Say goodbye to the target.
How long's left on the timer?
It's about 15 minutes at the moment. I'll go double check in the other room, one sec.
Let's do that, okay?
Yeah, 15:45.
Alright, thank you.
Place the dial, sorry.
All the shields back on Poe, so we know what's going to happen. We know what's happening here. He doesn't have to engage.
Push to take a title. Can you just measure the range? It should be okay though.
Yeah. You're good?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Must be difficult for Christopher.
Ready?
Yep.
Stress.
You're on the debris.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Gets some damage. Takes damage from the jury table.
Typical, isn't it? Boost. What's this?
Yeah. Ready? Yeah. Clear the stress, and then I'll roll for this. Okay.
See how many people are here watching.
Yeah. Don't think I've locked
Oh, but hit flask. Thanks, buddy.
Did you not remember you left it here?
I left all my stuff here.
But specifically, you left that here on the table.
That's poor Dameron.
It's just a keep away game for the last 15 minutes and for the next 15 minutes. It's ahead on points.
Yep.
It's gonna take try and avoid changing that.
So happy, right? Very good player. Lovely bloke.
Huh?
Lovely bloke. That's how white maneuver on the defender, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got my shield tokens.
Yeah, you want 5-1?
Every win 100-0.
Yeah.
One loss 137. My MMP's insane. It's freezing in there now.
Yeah, because there's no people. They didn't change the air conditioning setting, and so once the people left this morning, it was just like.
For what's worth, Braintree.
Oh god. I felt good that I won that last game. Absolutely.
I'm fine.
Devastated.
Yeah, we'll call it that, mate. Good job.
And I think he just conceded the game, didn't he?
What a good game, man.
Did you just concede,
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, you can't go because it's the same weekend.
Thank you for conceding.
Well, I cleared the free shields. I was like, maybe. And
And then
then,
you just gone back.
I just knocked. If I had Inquisitor, then possibly.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we'll do is instead of with an empty room, there's no point doing an interview over there. So we'll just do it here. Against his list, you have much experience.
Yeah, I've actually never lost it before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I
okay.
normally go for Poe first, but because Dash was just the best option at the time. Yeah, because normally I blow up Poe straight. I go for Dash and then go for Poe if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah.
And with yourself, was it something that you kind of had a problem with the Imperial Aces?
Oh, I've not. That's my second game against Palp with this variation of the list.
Yeah.
But I knew that from playing against Riyadh, any shots on her were just wasted. And if I got Poe to one of the aces,
Yeah.
I was fine.
Because you got Inquisitor here.
Yeah.
It was game over from there. Because
Yeah.
I needed
Well, I
two
mean, you
alive.
asked how long was left in the round. It's pretty obvious what was going to happen from there on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I just had to like I was wanting Dash to take damage because I knew he would start going for him,
Yeah.
and then just use the countermeasures to get that extra round of damage on the Inquisitor, and then I got round, and as soon as I killed him, I was just sitting there, I was like, no, we've got like 40 minutes of full regen, which is a horrible way to do it.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
still
but
in condition.
you're in your right to do
Yeah.
it, and yeah, man, it's
Don't blame
the
him for doing
situation he was in, and Chris, to his credit as well, he fought for it. He didn't let you get away with it free, and like I say, it was a surprise that you conceded at the end. So I had to double check because sometimes like you might have just given him your hand for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game, and like I say, just the only problem was is that like that last 15 minutes did kind of like mire the experience a bit as far as spectator.
Yeah.
But like I say, you're within your rights to do it, and it's worked out well. And now you've got yourself a invitation to the Coruscant Open.
Yeah.
Okay, is that something that might be possible for you to travel to the US in October?
I would certainly like to try,
So you
but
can't go east. We've got UKTC. You're in the Scottish team.
That's
there's
in
a clash
August,
today.
so you can do both.
No, UKTC, not ETC.
Oh, bugger that.
oh, wow.
UKTC. It's not even a proper team championship. You play with 3-man teams. It's not even a proper team championship, is it? You've got to have 6 men in a team.
It'll certainly be I'd like to attempt to
go anyway.
Right. Huh?
I didn't want to go anyway. It's fine.
You didn't want to go? Not now! Wicked. Oh, and we didn't quite get a good look at it because by the time it was getting close to the camera, he blew it up.
Yeah.
Turbo Man. It's
What's
turbo
this?
time. Did you not see the film Jingle All the Way with Schwarzenegger?
No.
Where his son really wants a Turbo Man doll, and so he has to go out and try and buy
Can I get
one.
you guys to score your sheet for me, please?
Yeah.
Do you have
Thank you very
I
much.
have a pen handy.
And so it's just
How many
Schwarzenegger
points did I
running.
kill?
Well, you get 100 because I conceded in that.
All right. Okay.
Makes no difference.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not gonna matter.
There's Schwarzenegger running around.
Who did better with Dash Pro, like in rankings between you and Rasta, because you both went 6-0? Well done.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Chris, for coming along.
I only just
Right.
woke up and saw you on the street
No
and ran
problem.
down to
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
I looked at the pairings, and there was lots of big names, like Rasta, Kevin, and we had Leon as well. And I kind of figured, you know what, I'll go for two people I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I'll give somebody else a shot at it. And when I saw your ship, it was like, wow, okay, cool.
I'm like, where is he?
Right.
I went to the loo when you turned up. I thought you were crashed out, so I thought, forget about my number before I go online.
Who won? There was a point where I was like, do I go for Poe at this one? But I didn't want to.
Is that the course that you go?
That's the thing. There was a point where I could have switched and possibly had all three guns on Poe, but you would have been able to shed or
Yeah.
boost. And I wasn't sure whether or not, and because I've done it before where I went for Poe and then he had like one hole left and then he just like fucks on more. Does what Poe does.
Yeah, he
and
does
then
both
yeah.
Is it FFGs?
It's. I knew you would struggle to get the damage on both of them. You need to get all three of your guns at like range 2. And I was like, but
Yeah.
the real clutch was coming in with that barrel